Okay, so today we're looking at question 8 from the additional maths paper 2019. So we have a first look. So this one we're looking at the stationary points of a curve, and it's been given us the equation in front. So the first thing that we're going to have to do when we see one of these equations is dy by dx it, okay? We do dy by dx. Remember the power goes in front. So 3 times 4 gives us 12x squared minus 3 times 2 is 6x, and then that 20 is going to disappear. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is equaling this to 0. And the reason why we equal it to 0 is we're essentially getting rid of that y function so we can solve for x. So we're going to say that 12x squared minus 6x is equal to 0. Personally, I factorise this at this point because that's how I find it easier to solve. So 6x on the outside, we're going to have 2x minus 1 equals to 0. So our results for x are going to be 0 or a half. Okay, and all I'm doing is making that bracket equal to 0. That's how I got the half. Once we're at this stage, okay, we're going to input it to our original function, and this is going to help us find the y values, hence the stationary points that we're looking for. So when x, that's going to disappear. So when x equals 0, all I'm then going to do is input it in. Shouldn't take too long to do this. And now you've got a calculator, so remember, if you wanted to, you can do some of these on the calculator. However, those two cancel out, so it's just going to give us 20 for that one. So my first set of coordinates are 0 and 20. Again, I'm going to do it again when I've got a half. Same routine, so I'm just plugging it in straight away. So I'm showing the examiner exactly what I'm doing, not leaving any steps out there. And I think it's good for when you're checking then afterwards. Right, so that's 1 over 8 times 4, so 4 over 8. Again, you can do this in a calculator if you wanted to. That's 1 over 4, 3 over 4. That's 20. You can see my brain is working today. So that's going to give us minus a quarter. So y is going to have to be 19 3/4, or 19.75. Okay, so once we're at that stage, my voice is going, we need to find out the nature of these curves. So what that means is if it's a maximum or minimum point. Now, you could probably tell straight by looking at it which one's going to be your maximum, which one's going to be your minimum, because the height of the curve is going to help us. So if we see the fact that y is going up to 20, however, they're going to want us to prove this, okay? So the reason how we do that is we're going to dy by dx again. So this is when you go d2y over dx squared. And this is just going to give us the nature of the curve. So note to yourself, if it's less than 0, it's a max point. If it's more than 0, it's a min point. And that's going to be important for us to do. So dy by dx, this original statement, gives us, wow, does not give us 12, gives us 24. So 24, there we go, 24x minus 6. So I'm just going to put in 0. So x is 0. That's going to give me d2y by dx is going to give me minus 6. So straight away, I know that's going to be my max point. And then the other one, when x is a half, is going to be 12 d2y over dx squared. Put my square there. That's going to be 12 minus 6, which gives me 6 there. So finishing this question off, I've got my max point by here and my min point by there. And that's it. So isn't too bad of a question. It's just making sure that you've got all your information down and making sure you've got your points. Some people like to draw the curve, is optional for this question, but definitely if you're feeling like it, it's going to be that type of curve where you're going like that, okay? Let's have a look at the mark scheme. Right, so our first mark, I love doing it in different colours, so let's go for it. Let's go for blue. No, let's go for a light blue. So for dy and by dx in, straight away I've got 1 mark there. That's great. The next one is equivalent to 0. So equivalent to 0, I get my next mark. So this bit by here. And that's an M1 mark, so your method mark. Then I get my answer mark for 0. And so I need to show my 2 points here. So I need to input them. So 0, 20 is my first A1 by there. And my second A1 is by here. And they've given the 3/4, so that's fine. Next part then, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 already. My next mark is for dy and by dx in for the second time. So that gave me another M1. And then putting these things in, so getting my -6. So you didn't actually get a mark for actually notifying what your answer was there, but you did get a mark for your max and a mark for your min. So there we go. 7 points in total there. So that's a nice question if that appears up in your test. I hope this helps. And we're all done.